The Nikki Glaser Podcast. The Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Here's Nikki. Hello, here I am. Welcome to the show. It's the Nikki Glaser Podcast. I'm in St. Louis. Noah and Brian are here. Also in studio in St. Louis with me, Taylor McGraw. She's been on the show before. She's Hot
back.
Trains.
Quick draw
McGraw.
Quick Draw McGraw.
She just came in hot and told me she has a book from the 70s that she got from the library, I'm guessing?
No, I got it.
Where do you get
bought
it?
Oh, purchased the book.
on the internet.
On the internet? Okay. I know that seems like duh, Nikki, but Taylor doesn't like buy things from the internet. Like she doesn't, that's not something I know of you. Although you did get me a book and we need to talk about that.
You got it?
Yeah. Thank you, by the way. Yes. I'll just say that. But we need to talk about that book.
Can we
anyway,
ask Brian to guess?
Oh,
when
yeah.
we're up to that?
Brian, yes, we will get to that. Brian shall guess what book Taylor got me that I think will
that's a
have
good
me on
idea.
some kind of list.
Okay.
Because I own it.
Okay.
Oh, well, then I'm on so many lists.
Because it's not even a book that's like for people interested in this. It's like for people who are like
deep knowledge.
like these people. I think is what I think the book is like geared towards.
Yeah.
Even though I am fascinated.
Is it
by
the Mormon Bible?
Kind of.
No. You can't just lie. You can't just say whatever.
I was making a joke. I mean, it's full of bullshit, just like the Mormon Bible.
what?
Okay.
And it was written by a crazy person. It was written by at least one crazy person, much like the Mormon Bible, who just started amending the Mormon Bible so he could have more things. He'd be
Wait,
like,
the Mormon-
he wrote the Mormon Bible, Joseph Smith, and then
He's dead.
He's dead, but like only for like 100 years. Like, so this is like a very new religion, or not
I
100.
had the golden plates. I've got the golden plates. You ever see the Book
I
of
never
Mormon?
saw Book of Mormon.
Oh, it's the best
All I
musical of all
know
time.
is that he wanted to fuck more women, so he just like pretended to have a dream where he talked to God, or he had to like
they
a vision.
always do that,
and then he was
yeah.
like, "Oh my God, God says that I can have multiple wives." And then people are like, "Great, we all get." And he's like, "No, not you guys." And then people started having. I've talked about this before, but people started having. Part of the religion is that you have a relationship with God that is personal, and then you have one that you like share with the congregation, kind of. But like everyone has an intimate relationship with God. That's part of Mormonism. But then, or it was, then Joseph Smith was like, actually, because then people started getting their own like insights from God that would make them do things. And Joseph was like, So then he goes, actually, only I do. I'm sorry, I thought that was for everyone. I read it wrong. And then he rewrote it. And then that's when sects started going like, no, we're doing a different kind of Mormonism, because he was changing it so much. And they were like, we like the old way. And that's like you said, it's the same for every religion.
Who knew that?
So
I don't know anything about
you want to
Mormons.
guess what the book is, or do you want to hear what book Taylor had today?
Well, let's start with the
so
coming in
booky.
hot story. That's how we started.
Yeah, she came in hot with a book about colors that are good for your skin.
Color Me Beautiful.
It's called Color Me Beautiful from the 70s.
Or color analysis, I think they're calling it now, the kids.
Yeah, you might have seen it all over TikTok Reels, at least if you're a woman consuming the same things I am, where they kind of like color match you to see which colors of makeup and clothing you should wear that is best for your skin and overall
Interesting.
veins. It's based on your veins, you
It's
said?
based on like your undertone.
Oh, that makes
And
sense.
yeah, like it
have an undertone of
reflects back onto your
skepticism right
That's
Where
not
does
your
that go
color.
with?
I've never heard someone use undertone in a play on words before. This is the first time I've ever heard that. I'm serious.
We're making history today.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I don't know, because she showed me all the colors and she goes, okay, this page of colors, is this what you like to wear? And I was like, I don't know. And then she was like, what about this page of colors? Is this what you like to wear? And I was like, I don't know. And then I don't think I liked any of them. And then you were like, the one
book's
that
a
I was
little
like,
old.
yeah, the book's a little old. But aren't
Sun
colors
faded.
like just colors? I'm sorry. I know there's
No.
like infinite colors, but it feels like
Since I got into this, I'm telling you, no.
there's so many like you would
There's-
say like there's a purple that looks good on you, and then there's a purple that looks horrible on you.
Yes.
And they're both
some
like
people
light
can't wear
purples.
purple. Like Noah, would you wear purple?
Yes, I would love to wear purple.
What kind of purple? Light or we're talking lavender,
Lavender.
or like indigo?
lavender. I don't look good in like a deep purple. And I was
Yeah, I
just
don't
going
think
to ask if there's a color that you love, but like anytime you put it on, it just does not look good on you.
Every color.
I think
except-
yellow. I always want to look good in yellow. because
Yeah.
I see some
look nice
blondes
in
looking really
yellow.
striking in yellow, and then it never works for me.
Yeah,
in a similar way.
Depends. Certain yellows, it just really depends on the tone.
But I told Taylor that any color looks good on me when I have a spray tan. Sorry, like every
Yeah.
color is 1,000% better on me. And there are no colors that look good on me when I don't have a spray tan that don't look better. Like they look fine, but they will always look better with a spray tan. So what's that about?
I mean, that's why
What's that
black men
about?
always they can wear whatever color they want, and a white guy tries to put on one of those pink shirts or whatever, and they look like
Yeah.
a loser.
I mean, there's skin tones that are definitely better than others. That's a fact. And
Yeah.
white people are struggling in that department.
Well, we should. We've had it good for a really long
we
time.
deserve it.
No, so I wore this color today because Taylor went through my closet and I said, pick out, because I had a different outfit on, and she was like, you should never wear that color. And I was like, fuck.
Bitch.
And even it's popping through on this pillow. I want to get this pillow out of the shot because that might be actually, Marion, are you the color that doesn't look good with me? I kick her across the room. Don't wash me out. So I chose this color, but then I do love a light pink, but with my arm without spray tan, that's hell. And then
Well,
when
I
I
think
it's
it's giving you some color, but also it's gonna you can't contend
I'm
with a
fucked
wall.
with the walls,
Yeah.
and the chair and everything. But Taylor, you said this book literally changed your life, or these theories literally changed your life.
changed
what
my
do
closet.
you mean by that?
Well, I've been into it for a long time because my grandma used to be obsessed with it when we were young. She'd always be going up to people in the store, like the Goodwill, and going, "That's not your color." But she was talking about it when I visited her. So I got this book so I could have something that she liked to talk about that I could talk about too. And I got rid of everything in my whole closet and I started wearing only my color. And then since then, people will be like, "Oh, you look great today," whereas no one ever said that before. And if it's my color, then people will be like, "I love that shirt," but it's just a regular old shirt.
I
Like this
feel
is a
like
plain
sometimes
turtleneck.
I get compliments because I'm wearing a color. You know what I mean? Like people are like, "That's a fun," like you like are peacocking because of the color. So I would just assume it was that, as
There's
opposed
also
to like
the
I
fact that
actually look good
maybe
in this.
But-
now that you have like textual proof that the color you're wearing is proper, then you have
Mm-hmm.
confidence when you wear the color, and then people see that confidence and they go,
It
"Wow."
absolutely could be that.
That colored me beautiful. But yeah, but
Yeah.
a lot of it is my colors are black and white, and winters are the only ones that really
shit.
should wear black and white.
Yeah, so people are summer, autumn, spring, or winter, right?
Yeah, and so a lot of people
Emo.
will say I look really good when I'm wearing black. So I don't think that color gives me
It's not true of
confidence.
everybody. I mean,
No, it would. When I wear black, I feel confident because I'm like, it's slimming. It just is all put together. You look at least clean. It's monochromatic. It makes me feel cooler. Like it would give me a skip in my step. I look goth. I look like I could have written the book that Taylor bought for me. It's the journals of the
Interesting.
Columbine guys.
oh, okay.
He could have
It's
guessed
literally
that.
the journals of the Columbine kids, printed and like. So the journal is on the side, on the left side, and then like the transcription of the journal is on the right side.
Man,
they
these
were
kids had journals?
fucking idiots.
Oh, yeah,
they
they
journaled
do.
so
Okay.
What kind of kids?
hold
a high
on.
school boy journaling? That's like
Oh,
Big
yeah,
time.
big time. They were
Emotional-
so
Okay.
emo, dude. They were like always talking. Like
No,
I
no,
couldn't- I
no.
can't even
You just read
these.
Klebold's. You did not read
Oh,
Eric
Klebold
Harris's.
is full of like
Klebold
emotion.
is his first name.
No, Dylan Klebold.
Okay, so if you
okay.
read the reason that I got that for you, one, I know you're obsessed with Columbine, but two, because when I was reading Eric Harris's, I was like, this is literally us when we were in high school.
No
it's
way.
like
What?
it has
Stop it.
it has things I hate list and like people who walk slow, get the fuck out of my way, and like people who dress like this. That's what lists I was making when I was in high school.
Yeah,
That's a
but we
George
didn't
Carlin bit.
have like Nazi symbols and
Well,
the
yeah,
N-word
okay.
scattered
He had
throughout
a
it.
little- he
was
had a little issue.
fueled by hatred and like people's brains exploding and stomping on their rib cages and breaking.
but
it
he was
beneath his
kind
foot.
of
Like,
funny. Both things can be true.
Both absolutely.
You can be an
true.
idiot and you
I
can be
separate
funny.
the artist. Imagine Eric Harris, me calling him an artist.
He's truly an artist.
Oh my
I
god!
wonder if they were inspired by the Carlin bit, because the Carlin bit came out. I mean, he did a few times in a few different specials in the early '90s. People I could do without, and then it was just like a list of people
Yeah.
who say what's up, man? It's like stuff like that.
Totally.
Yeah.
This was Eric Harris's Brain Droppings, which is one
also
of the
is
Carlin
like-
books that my dad had that I used to read.
Yes.
I
Good
think
book.
it was
it
it's
is.
also like in the zeitgeist because I never knew about George Carlin, but I was always making things I hate list. I think just
Oh, yeah, we still do
hormones and
that.
stuff.
Like,
I still do all the time, and
I
it still
love
says
making lists.
people who walk slow.
Yeah.
I can't take it. I
One of
haven't
their
been able to
journals,
take
they
it.
were like, "You might be a school shooter if." I think this guy's inspired by.
by Jeff Fox. Yeah, everyone blamed Marilyn Manson. No one was even talking about how the Blue Collar Comedy Tour is the reason Columbine happened. For those of you who don't know, Columbine was a failed bombing. It was not supposed to be a shooting. The shooting was supposed to be the aftermath, where they just picked people
After
off that were
party.
running from the bombing. They wanted to kill upwards of 500 people. They only killed like 12. It was kind of a failure on their
Yeah, yeah.
part, and their it was not inspired by Marilyn Manson. It was one was a sociopath. And what do you think Dylan was? Do you think Dylan was also a
Depressive.
sociopath? Yeah, he was just
No,
he wanted
he's
to kill
not a
himself. He was just
sociopath.
suicidal.
Yeah, he just found that he just went along with.
Do you know that during that, like, there's a theory that during, I'm so sorry to make this about Columbine, but it's
Oh,
better than
yes.
football, which we did yesterday. So, okay, so I've said this before in the podcast. I'm sorry for people who find this stuff really gruesome, but this is kind of interesting to me, and I know it will be to you. During the shooting, there's a theory that, because everyone goes, why didn't they kill more people? Like, they had the ability to. They were walking by people. They were just kind of like shooting into the corners of the room. Like,
They were
then went to
bored,
the
yeah.
library. They were bored.
They were like
But
kicking rocks.
they got bored by it. Eric probably got bored by it and was like, this isn't giving me the thrill of destruction and being the Timothy McVeigh kind of like RoboCop I wanted to feel like. And then he also broke his nose on the gun going back, so he was in pain.
Eric
like,
did?
Yeah, Eric did.
Oh, I thought
and
Dylan
then Dylan was grossed out by it and was like, oh no, this is way worse than I thought, and was like getting sick from
Oh,
it. And like,
yeah,
the
I would
things he was
imagine.
saying.
They don't
And then
think
they
it's
all
gonna
just kind of, they just went
be
to the library
real.
and were like, oh, what are we going to do? And you know what I always wanted? I
of
know this
fucking
is
losers.
so fucking, the hugest.
They weren't that cool. Yeah.
They were not.
They weren't
But
hip.
they weren't bullied like
No,
everyone
they
thinks
were
they
not,
were.
yeah.
That was not
Yeah.
the reasoning for it. That like they actually bullied people ruthlessly. But what happened to like all those library books that like were there and got like splatter on them? and
I
stuff?
tried to get some Columbine
I
shit
know. I
at
was
some
gonna
point.
say, like, what? I
tried
don't
to get,
want it
like-
in my possession, but I want to go to a museum and like I,
I
don't
tried
know
to get
why.
a Columbine, like a shirt that said Columbine High School.
Me too. I go to the
Obviously.
Goodwills, buy the Columbine when I'm there.
Oh my God.
To check for anything.
I tried to look on eBay for them.
But then I go, I can't wear this. People are going to
no,
be like,
you
oh,
wear
you're
it
a
at home,
fan?
just like I can't wear my Casey
And
Anthony
I'm not
shirts.
a fan. Let me be clear before this gets pulled out of context and makes me seem like I'm like into it. Just in the way that you are into watching whatever murder documentary
Yeah.
or Law and Order
Serial
SVU
killers.
that's
That's right.
fictionalized. It's the same thing.
Glass
I was a-
houses.
But it's actually not the same because it's smarter. Because if it's fictionalized, you can't learn anything from it. But if it's real, then you can find out why people are doing that, so you can understand human nature.
I'm not.
You can't understand
but
it.
please,
Oh,
don't
I
get me
can.
confused. I'm not trying to understand it to prevent it. Like, it is pure morbid curiosity.
Yeah.
To prevent
but I am
it.
not saying I like it and I'm glad it happened and I want it to happen again. I'm just saying I'm interested in morbid stuff. I can't help it. I'm not going to couch this like I want to change the world by learning what they did. There is something to that about the stuff when I'm interested in pedophiles, because I do want to like learn their ways, because I feel like me being more
Do you want to
spreading
undercover
it-
catch them by pretending to
no,
be?
I just want to like be able to suss them out a little bit sooner than anyone around me, and like even better than like it's a point of pride.
I
Like,
just
being
don't
able
wanna
to
be
catch someone
gotten.
around my friend's kid to be like, I'm getting some bad vibes from that guy, and be able
You're
to stop
slowly
something.
becoming like an advocate for pedophile awareness through your career. It's
That's what
growing over time.
I will say that I'm not lying when I say that is part of the reason I'm fascinated by that stuff, is to prevent it. But my Columbine fascination isn't to be like, I want to there's nothing I can do about those.
Yeah.
I mean, I could probably see it coming a little bit. Like if I had a teenage son who was journaling a lot and spending
Stressing
hours
like
and
that.
hours inside a closed room with his friend. And the one thing in the book that I will say that I'm interested in, not so much the journals, because they're just the crazy ramblings.
Oh, they're
of,
so
like,
good.
They're good? What do you mean by that?
It's interesting to know what was going on in the mind of somebody
Oh,
that's
see,
going
I've
to
read
do
all the
shit
books,
like
so I
that.
kind of like know already. I feel like they've already excerpted the stuff that I wanted
gotta
to
have
hear
these
about.
journals.
But what I am excited to read, and I haven't yet because I'm literally saving it. Like I used to save books where there were pictures of blue whales. I would read the whole book, but if there was a picture of a blue whale on a certain page, I was so excited. I loved blue whales so much because
You were a
they're
whale
the
lover.
biggest animal ever, and they're so mysterious, and they're rarely photographed, and they're just like. So I would just like I would goon out for blue. Gooning is where you don't come and you just like masturbate until you come. I would literally goon for blue whales, but I'm gooning for that book because in the last chapter is the transcript of the basement tapes, which has only been seen by like select families that wanted to go that had children that died in it, or Eric and Dylan's parents, of course, but like that hasn't been released.
No.
How do they have a transcript of it?
I don't know. They did let some people in the media see it, and I think the media transcribed it, but
Someone
it's
just
not an
remembered
exact transcription. I don't think because they just had to watch it and write it down really fast.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
not
I am
positive
excited
about
to get into
that,
but I do think I'm on a list now that this book is in my possession.
Well,
and sent to
I'm
my
the one
house
that my
with
name's
a
on
happy
it. I bought
birthday
it.
letter inside of it. That was so nice of you, though. Because Taylor goes, "Did you get my present?" And I go, "I don't think so. Maybe." And she goes, "Oh no, you'll know." And I did. Oh, I knew.
Have you ever been to the United 93 Memorial?
No,
In
but
Pennsylvania?
anytime I'm performing in Pennsylvania, I Google where it is to see if I
Yeah.
can drive there.
I
Because
feel like you would enjoy that.
I 100% would. I've read all about like what happened
I
on that
haven't.
plane. I have never seen the movie because I don't want to see it. I just want to read the things.
Yeah.
Is anyone else like that where you don't want to see things?
Yes.
You just want to read it?
Yeah, I don't
like,
wanna see
I'm
that.
sorry, I don't want to see the garrote or garrote with the hair of John Bonet wrapped
Oh,
around
you gotta
it.
look
I
at
don't
it
want
to
see
know.
that. I want to hear about it, and I don't even really want to hear about it. But or I don't even want to read it. But I don't want to see things. So yeah, the United 93. I would love to go to that spot of the field in Pennsylvania where it all.
You
I
can
don't
walk
even know
amongst
anything
it.
about it.
The,
Oh my
the
God.
field is
What?
all.
Really?
I know. I have to get ready.
Let
Get
it roll?
cracking.
Let's roll. Let's roll means nothing to you.
No.
Okay, so on the flight, United 93, any Gen Zers out there listening, I know you don't know the details of 9/11 probably, but
Yeah. The
one
lore.
of the lore. Is lore a lie though, or is it?
No, it's fictional.
No,
Yeah,
it's
lore is
like-
fictional.
Well, this
Oh, it
is
is?
it's slightly fictional because we don't really know what happened on that plane, but there is evidence that the people on board that plane took off. That was already in the air when the Trade Center was hit both times. I think at least by the first plane, and so they were calling down because they were hijacked, headed to
yeah.
the White House probably. And they called their family, and their families were watching the news and told them what was happening. And so they all knew, oh my God, this thing, we are a missile. Nothing's going to come of this. We just need to crash this plane. And we need to take over. And I don't think their goal was to like land it safely. It was
Right.
just to like,
They
let's
just were trying to not crash it
And
into something
so
important.
I'm
one
sure
of the
they
guys on the
attempted
plane. Yeah, I'm sure there was someone.
But no one really knew how because the pilots were dead.
because Marky Mark wasn't there.
Yeah.
So he claimed that if he was on a plane in 9/11, it wouldn't happen.
Wow.
So
Bold statement.
but they go, and one person overheard on a phone call. It's lore that the guy was like, they were boiling hot water to like scald the terrorists and take over what they were doing. Oh. And so they were in the back boiling water. They're on the phone, like telling their family. And one guy goes, "Let's roll." And then it was like, then they went and done, and it crashed in a field in Pennsylvania and didn't kill anyone except, everyone. aboard.
Damn, that'd be
But let's
wouldn't
roll,
like
guy.
it.
And then that became
wanna
like
be
a, catchphrase.
Oh.
That like,
Catchphrase for the war in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Oh golly gee.
yeah. So that's why
But the
I'm into that
museum
stuff.
is very compelling and intriguing.
you've been?
Oh yeah, I've been. I go all the time.
tell me.
Specifically
I go every couple of weeks.
No,
It
you
was-
don't. Wait, have you
well-
really been?
Yeah, I've been because I used to have the Unbelievable podcast, and we actually recorded ourselves visiting the memorial because we used to do these like in the field episodes where we would be like, we're here at the blah blah blah, and we'd
Literally.
record. We would be in. Well, you're not allowed to. At least at the time, you weren't allowed to go in the field because it was still an active crime scene. Which it was like 15 years later, 16 years later, and it's still an active crime scene because they're still trying to find like little artifacts from the plane explosion in the field. It's like hard to find.
They're
It's
still
like
out
an
there
archaeological dig
trying.
at this point, basically.
Whoa. Okay. That's like when they found bone fragments on. They're still putting together. They're still finding survivors of 9/11. There's a lot of people that are still missing, and they've never found any evidence of their bones, and they're still sifting through the rubble. And like
What?
10 years later, they were doing some sort of like renovation job on a building a quarter mile away, and on the roof they found tons of bone
What?
fragments, and were able to identify victims from that. But then no one even thought like, oh, maybe it landed on some fucking crazy. So
Yeah.
wait, what did you experience there? What's it like?
Well, it was definitely, very sad, and you're very thought provoking. But what was most interesting to me in going there were the people visiting the memorial, who it really truly was just like, it might as well have been like a museum of natural history exhibit where people were just like snapping pictures of everything with like flash and like. There was one woman who would like just go to every single thing and like just take a picture of it.
Was it an indoor museum?
Yeah, there's like an indoor part where they have like you can listen to the recordings of the final phone calls, the actual recordings.
No.
Yeah, and that was probably the most like heart-wrenching
I've heard
aspect
those.
of the
Oh, I would
exhibit.
never listen to that.
Why?
It's too sad.
sad.
Did you
But
cry,
it was
Brian?
like there wasn't the same amount of like when we went to the Auschwitz thing, and there was like
Yeah.
these little things that just kind of like bothered me, like the guards telling you to get out right away, like that
along.
stuff. Remember we talked about that?
Yeah, and they were all in like a uniform that was like reminiscent of.
Yeah, it was like they
Yes.
really wanted you to feel what it was like to be forced
Yes.
onto a train car. But in the United 93 exhibit, it was just like there were people who were treating it like they were at Disney World, basically. Like in the gift shop, they had like United 93 like paperweights.
They were selling
and
turkey
hats.
legs.
Why don't they have a Columbine one so I can get a damn shirt?
No, Columbine has a great memorial, and it's somber as fuck, and everyone's really respectful.
I want to go.
Oh my god, I have to take you.
Yeah,
it's
come
so
on.
I hate to say good, but it's like it's beautiful. Columbine's on one of the most beautiful properties I've ever experienced in my life. It's like surrounded by mountains, and then there's a lake and there's prairie dogs everywhere, like hundreds of prairie dogs everywhere.
You know, my dad lived there at the time.
What? Really? Mm-hmm. Oh my god.
I mean, Littleton. Isn't that
Well,
right
yeah.
next to there?
Yeah, no,
I think
that's where it is.
The
Littleton.
town, right? Yeah.
Whoa.
Isn't that crazy? And also near John Bonet.
Did he have any-
Maybe he
Whoa.
was
Oh my
participating.
God.
What's he doing? He's always living next to
Colorado.
these tragedies.
He's still looking up John Bonet and
Where does he live
Columbine. I
now?
just gave him a book about Colorado. again.
Taylor is about to start a YouTube channel where she discusses true crime on it. So I want to just
ready.
prepare everyone for that. It is coming soon as she gets her computer and her car fixed. We'll be back after that.
my car.
I feel like your car is a part of it. So I went to Starbucks this morning, and I want to just say that there is a new initiative that I heard about on the Starbucks subreddit that it just came across my feed, that they now require partners that's what they call baristas, as partners.
That's creepy.
They're all partners in this venture.
Sexual.
They own some of the Starbucks industry.
Right. Yeah, I guess that's it. You're shareholders.
They're
or
part
whatever.
owners. It's co-op,
part
really.
Totally. And they now are, as of yesterday, as of today, I believe. Is it the 27th?
28th.
Yesterday. Well,
Okay, so I think maybe yesterday is when they started implementing it. I did see a very animated meeting going on about like the new policy, and I kind of overheard some stuff, but it seemed like upbeat and like, oh, people have some like new energy and enthusiasm around coffee. It was not it was very dissimilar to the meeting I witnessed about when they integrated olive oil into coffee. Last year, Starbucks did this. 2 years ago,
What?
Starbucks did a push where they were like,
That's disgusting.
I guess the owner of Starbucks, who
Sounds
is not
kinda
the
good.
CEO anymore, went to Italy and was like, they put olive oil in their coffee.
that
And so
I'll do
True.
it. I will do it.
it's all there. You could buy olive oil at Starbucks for a while, and this was probably just started like being phazed out a couple months ago. But there's an
Gross.
oleato. I think is the oleato is the one
Yep.
with the
That's it.
and it was. Oh my God, they were all, when I was witness, because I would hang out at Starbucks and was writing a lot during this time because it was ready for my special, and people that were learning about the olive oil and training partners, like the enthusiasm was low, the morale was down, but now everyone's jazzed again. So then I find out what's happening on the subreddit. They are now required to write a message on your cup.
Oh, I saw a commercial about that.
They are really getting back to the space of like, will you look up, Noah, the
They
new
didn't do
Starbucks initiatives that just started happening yesterday? It's not only writing on cups, it's to cut down on people loitering, I think, inside the Starbucks and to make it more of a place where you can go and hang out and meet your friends. And it's like getting back to the cafe experience that they got away from during COVID.
Wait, what's the difference between that and loitering?
Yeah.
I think loitering is when you sleep and you
Or
smell
just
bad.
stand around.
Oh, so
And
they're saying
you are
they wanna-
clearly homeless. Yeah, it's trying to
Okay.
get rid of homeless people. I think
I
that's
see.
what's
So
happening. It is making
an
people...
initiative to remove homeless people and replace them with college
Yeah, but they're not
students
going
and
to say
yuppies.
that. Yes. But I want it back to that too because I want homeless people to have a place to go, obviously. And I like that Starbucks, when they're just sitting there sleeping, I don't fucking mind.
Yeah, big whoop-de-doo.
The other day, I was there and a homeless man was sleeping and a girl was having a meeting with her superior, like her boss, who was like stopping by to check in on stores, and she was meeting with him. And she saw the homeless man and she had to like do the thing where you kind of like creep around them to see if they're sleeping. And she's like, "Sir, are you sleeping? Because if we don't allow sleeping," so it's like, just let him sleep.
Yeah,
There's no
you
difference
don't even
between
know
him
if he is or
laying,
not.
like with his eyes open or not. I wanted to get him some like glasses, like some better sunglasses, so he can always
Some
pretend. Like,
sunglasses that have open eyes
eyes on him. Yeah, I was like, how do I help this man be able to sleep? Because God, it would suck to be homeless
Yeah,
and never
big-
find a place to just fucking rest your
The
eyes.
Well, you know the way they
library.
handle that at the New York public library system, and I got to imagine most public library
Spikes.
systems. They put spikes on, so you can't
That's what they
sit down
do
like a
to some
pigeon.
places. Yeah.
No, because I used to go during my lunch breaks, and when I worked in an office in New York City, I would go to the New York Public Library in Bryant Park, and I would sleep at a table, and they would not allow it. The librarians would go around with like a metal ruler, and they would smack the table next to you.
That's so disturbing.
Even if they saw you kind of like dozing off, they would smack the table, and so like
Dude,
That's crazy.
you'd be like
I don't think
studying your
there's-
text.
What's the
Maybe you'd be
difference
like
from
reading the Columbine
sleeping and
journals,
being
and then
awake?
you'd
Yeah.
hear this quack over and over again
And you
throughout
know,
the
I'm gonna
echoey
do it.
halls of the library.
I'm gonna do it here. That's what makes you snap. No, there's nothing I still think about. I think the worst torture I've ever felt, because I'm a very lucky person, the worst mental torture I've ever felt in my life. Well, it's not the worst. It's the second worst. I'll save the worst for later. Is being in class in high school and college, but mainly high school because it's less populous and you're in smaller classes and you can't stay awake. And your head is bopping,
Yeah.
and you're trying to keep it up. And
It's
you're
embarrassing to be.
and you know that if you do fall asleep, you're going to be really embarrassed when the teacher either calls you out or you do the head bopping thing, like you're doing the yeah, you're bopping along to some music that no one else is listening to. So that to me is like the worst torture of my life, and I hate when I see people head bopping. Chris does it on planes, and I'm always like holding his forehead against the thing. I can't stand bopping heads. It makes me so alarmed because I
Bopping
picture them
heads.
like dreaming that they're falling and going, oh, like it's the worst feeling. I'm trying to
Yeah.
prevent it.
Or the teacher's like, would anyone here like to share their opinion on the Ottoman Empire? And then you head bop, and it's like, no.
I would always beg. Listen up, teachers, right now. If you have students falling asleep in class, don't take it personally. You don't know what's going on for them at home. Don't be a bitch about it or a dick, whichever one you want to be. But don't be either of them. Here is what you do. Get the students to stand up and do 5 jumping jacks. That's all. I would always want a teacher to like do something that would require me to like think or talk or get up. Like just get them to stand up and stretch and get them to sit down. Like do something, and don't single them out. Just make it a thing for the whole class. It really is only about that. Like they need to, like when you're just sitting there still listening to a monotone voice, talk about something you're not interested in and being forced to even be there, of course you're gonna fall asleep. I hate when teachers would get like personally offended that you were falling asleep.
Also, kids and teenagers need more sleep
Sorry,
than adults
teacher.
do.
Do you ever catch students falling asleep in your class?
Yeah, but it's obvious that they like came in tired.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't ever do anything about it.
Yeah, but just like maybe just because I think that sometimes I would want to learn and I would want to wake up, but I couldn't because the setting wasn't allowing me to. So if you even just go like, I'm tired today, let's just all get up and like,
So 45 people do jumping jacks.
not jumping jacks, but let me just like get up and just
shake it
like,
off.
just shake.
7th inning stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
It's
it
only
would help.
50-minute class.
But still, and it's just a totally wasted class when you sleep through it. And sometimes I would be like, I want to be awake for this, and I just couldn't because I was in a position where there's nothing else to do but fall asleep. Okay, what did you find, Noah?
Okay, here's what I got. So they want to enhance the in-store experience. One of the initiatives is writing on cups. The other one is the return of the condiment bar.
Oh yeah, that's
Wait,
back. I saw that today.
Condiments, like what? Like ketchup?
No sugars.
Yeah, they need that. Or
Wait, they got
cream.
rid of that?
Yeah, that was
They
gone
never
since
put
COVID.
enough cream ever.
Oh,
It never
okay.
came back after COVID.
Now they're bringing it back. That was fun.
Yeah.
You get to
But
put in
guess what
the
is not
different
back?
flavored stuff.
Nope, you don't get to do that. There's no flavors.
No,
It is
just- okay.
milks, and it's no plant milks, I'm guessing. It is sugars, and that is it. And it is not, it used to be a vanilla powder, a cinnamon powder, and a mocha powder.
Yeah,
And those,
yeah.
those
I
are not
remember,
back.
yeah.
Those were fun, and they're not back.
Yeah, that's fun. That,
No.
that
Why?
brings
That's the
in
cheap.
customers.
That's much cheaper than milk.
I think it's probably
It's just like a
cost and
mess.
also like disgusting, like
Yeah.
mess, because it's like sugary and going everywhere. Yeah, I don't know. It's so that's back.
Sad.
Anything else?
Yeah, more ceramic mugs available for
They
purchase.
asked you if you wanted a mug, Taylor.
Yeah,
Yeah, they want people to stay.
They're
They're,
slinging
I
hang
thought
out.
they were just being weird. I
and
thought
the
it was
mug is to
'cause
for you to buy and then
they
take
like
home with you,
or
but you can bring it into the Starbucks for refills.
I wonder because I was like, do you want it in a mug or to go? It's
think-
like, what are you talking
Yeah,
about?
I think they want you to. Cool. I want to stay
Okay,
at the
another
one with
cool
the fire.
Thing,
Yeah.
they are
They should all have
removing.
fireplaces.
They are removing the upcharge on non-dairy milks.
Right, right.
That went into work. I could not believe how fast that happened. Like they announced it, and it wasn't one of these rollouts where it was like, by 2028 we will remove plant milk. Like
wasn't
every
like a
kind of
climate change
environmental
initiative.
change thing. Yes, it takes fucking 5 years, and by the time it's happening, it's like really late to the game anyway, and everyone
It's
else
late
is
to the
adjusting.
game, and then by the time we even get close to the deadline, they have another administration just change it.
And they get a whole new milk.
We never.
But they
get
made
there.
this happen. I'm not kidding you. They stopped charging me for plant milk the day it was announced. It was right
Yeah.
away. And it was so impressive. I couldn't believe it. I had whiplash from it. Because I assumed it would take at least months and months. But it was
Yeah.
right away. PETA really fought for that. PETA does make a difference. They were huge about like advocating for that, and it's just important because you shouldn't be penalized for not wanting to eat animals, and that's what they were doing, and it's great. And now my drink that I get is $7.74, and it used to be I was getting into the 9s and 10s at airports, and it just does not ever pass 8 now.
Nice.
Why is it $7.74?
Because I'm getting double pumps of sugar-free vanilla. I'm getting it, and
gotta
I'm getting
pay
a
for the
venti latte.
pumps and
Yeah, you gotta pay
stuff?
for the pumps, baby. 75 cents a pump. It's so dumb.
But
It's so
another-
expensive.
I don't pump.
Another initiative is they set a goal of a 4-minute wait time in the cafes.
That's really short, but that's
Yeah.
still not ordering in line. If
Even
you're not
for
doing the
food?
mobile
You do the
app, I don't
app.
know what you're doing. When people are in line at the airport and it is truly down the terminal, probably like 6 gates, and that is embarrassing to wait in that line. You have enough time to go buy a phone, download the app.
Maybe they're old
on that new phone.
or like me.
Just okay. Well, then you have a right to be in that line because you don't have a phone. It's only people.
I got a
If you have
right.
an ability to get the Starbucks app, what are you? I don't understand what you're doing not getting it. If you're willing to sacrifice 25 minutes waiting in line, why would you just not buy the app? Like, what is you? Because you're like, no, I will not give them my information. Well, you're giving them 25 minutes of your time just standing in line.
An app
That's true.
costs money.
No.
No, it's free.
You said buy the
But
app.
the people
I thought.
just don't want to do it because they're like, I don't want to just give in to the corporate.
Well, they also don't want to have the app on their
Overlord.
phone.
They don't want tons of
Every
apps
single
for
store I go to is
everything.
going to have an app. Like some people
Yeah.
don't go to
Gives a
Starbucks
shit.
often enough. I don't give a shit. I'm not saying I give a
No,
shit.
but like,
Nikki.
who cares if you have apps on your phone? Just like, everyone stop being so organized. Just litter your phone with garbage. It doesn't matter. You'll find it. Stop having to have everything have a reason and a place.
You can search.
Oh, I love reasons and places.
I know you do. I'm actually like having an
This is
issue.
stressing me
I took
out.
a picture of my countertop in my bathroom that I've been living with for now 3 weeks because I usually have you or a housekeeper come in and clean at some point. But 3 weeks I've been left to my own devices, and it's fucking insane in,
looks
in my
great.
bathroom. I tidied, by the way. Not because you were coming, but
you
because
have
I was like
10 of everything.
Yeah.
You got to pick one thing and use it till it's gone, and then
You mean like one lip gloss? You don't
Yeah.
need like 18 colors of that lip
Yeah.
gloss. Well, you would not think that if you go to the store and you say that like you need different kinds of lip gloss. And I'm getting sent lip gloss,
I know you get sent so much stuff.
so much lip gloss, which I love and I use once every 3 weeks. But I get sent a lot of stuff and I'm grateful for all of that. But I have too
it's
much
always
stuff.
it's always been that way since you were a kid. You would have like 6
I
of the
was
same
thinking
thing and
the
they're
same thing.
lost.
I go,
you need a dispenser where it pops at the bottom and then you put it back in the top
That's a really good idea.
of like each thing.
Well, last night I was
like
thinking
for ketchup and the
because I was kind of in like a spiral of like, what's wrong with you? Like literally no one in your life has a bathroom that looks like this. You can't think of one person in your life who struggles with messiness like this. No one. I couldn't think of a single person that would have a bathroom that is literally, let me just paint a picture for you because I would never reveal the picture I took except maybe to girls chat when I'm like in a really funky mood. But I took
just
the
saw it.
picture.
I didn't notice anything.
No, I straightened that bitch. And you're used to it because you are already involved in my mess. Every single piece of the countertop is covered by something. And everything from a dog poop bag that doesn't have poop in it, don't think that, to an old vape pen I don't use, to 4 different kinds of hair clips, to a spray tan remover mitt, to different brushes, like jewelry. It's every single, and then I have his and her sinks. One of the sinks is just filled with stuff in it because Chris doesn't use it. He has his own bathroom. It's just a basin for me to collect old just things.
What about drawers? Don't you have drawers?
They're stuffed. They're filled to the brim.
Oh, we gotta poach this bastard
I
out.
hate purging this stuff because it's still half full and there's product in there that someone would be like, oh my God, that's you got that. This is $40. You're going to throw out $20 worth of product and I can't do it.
You just give it to me and I'll give it to my sister, or you give it to your sister. We'll just leave it out by the library or the Starbucks for anybody who wants it.
All right.
I never
Especially if
throw
it's
anything
unopened.
away.
No, it's all opened.
Yeah,
It's all
Because
been opened and tried.
and
It's
then
all
I
been
go, I don't
sampled.
need it. I just
Well, you know,
don't need
there-
any more fucking hyaluronic acids. Please, no one send me anymore with peptides. I can't. I
Do I
have
need
one
that?
skin thing that I use now. I don't want any more. It's just too much. It's overwhelming.
This is what all the companies are doing now. There's no point in having ads or hiring someone to be in an ad. You must just send all your products to influencers and hopefully they shout you out.
Yeah, I get sent a lot of stuff, and then I get follow-ups of like, hey, did you get that purse we sent you? And I'm like, I did. I haven't had anywhere to go to wear it. Every time I photograph myself looking nice, someone else is dressing me, and I can't incorporate my own stuff.
Yeah.
That's a problem. I need to get a long mirror that's clean so I can do like, this is the outfit of the day.
OOTD.
Oh,
But I
yeah.
need like a clean mirror.
That mirror out there is good.
Yeah, that's good.
This
But
is
that's a
skinny
lot. You
mirror
know, if they're
too.
sending you stuff you're not asking for it, and then they follow up and they say,
Yeah,
by the
that's
way,
not-
did you
it's
get
not
the
your
thing that we sent
responsibility.
you
Then I do
unprovoked?
ask for it because they say, do you want to look? We'd love to send you one of our purses. And I go, yeah, I'd love this purse because who's going to turn down a $300 purse? But then I
Yeah.
get it and I go, this doesn't go with anything that I would ever wear ever.
Right.
And then I just wait and they go, when are you going to post about it? Shout out to
This is it.
hostage mouth tape that sent me
yes.
so much mouth tape.
what that was.
Have you been
And I
using that?
swear to God, they sent it to me like October 5th, and then October
supposed to
7th
post
happened.
a
This is
picture?
2 years ago.
Oh.
And it's called hostage tape. And I was like, I'm not about to be like, check out hostage tape. They literally wrote to me and go, hey, you want to post about it? And I go, I can't. And I'm really sorry that you're going through this time, like that your brand is going through, like picked the wrong name. But
Yeah.
also, if you pick the name hostage, you got to assume that there's going to be a hostage situation at some point that is going to like fuck with your marketing.
Yeah.
You know?
Columbine
and they go, we
tape
didn't,
would've
no,
been better.
they go, we're not struggling at all. And I was like, well, then you don't need me. But I'm not posting I'm not taping my face and putting a picture of my face with the word hostage on October 9th. Sorry, 2023. Not doing it.
Yeah. No,
but I do
Hostage
love
Tape
mouth
suffered.
tape.
Gazetteers suffer. Their makeup company.
No, they weren't. No, they weren't. Yeah, look at me complaining about, I have too many things. But yeah, that's a thing going on in my life. Last night I want to tell everyone there is a new documentary called The Fall of Diddy.
Oh, hell
shit.
It's on Max. That's
Oh,
what
wow.
I was like. I like saved
hell
the
yeah.
date. I never save the date for anything.
you watched it already?
I watched the first episode. That's out. It's fine. let me just say, it's like
it's going to get better.
Not a lot of juicy nuggets.
There's not a lot that I don't already. There's a big thing that I didn't already know, like a really big thing that's like a part of who he was coming up. Like you would never even try to guess. I'm trying to like even
molested.
Get you there. No. It's like, well, I'll just tell you. Spoiler alert. The rest of it, like this is, it's not a too big of. It's not like leading to this. It's just part of the documentary. But I did not know, and I thought I knew everything about the Diddy stuff. Like not everything, but the big things. Diddy first was a promoter on the scene right out of college. He did 2 years at Howard University, and then he started working with a label, and then he started his own label. But before that, he was promoting somewhere in like before he started his own label. He was promoting this crazy huge hip hop night, I think in Harlem, that was going to be like a showcase. And it was literally at a gymnasium, and he was selling so many tickets for it and like killing it promoting because that's what he was great at. And he sold like oversold tickets. They were selling tickets at the door when it was already sold out. Like they were just doing, I would say, unethical things. If it's already sold out, why are you selling tickets at the door? And they couldn't fit any more people in the gym, and so they closed these gym doors.
Oh, no.
And there was a fucking crowd crush in 1990, I believe, in Harlem.
Oh my God.
At this gymnasium. I thought I knew about all crowd crushes. I honestly like
you are into
researched
crowd crushes.
Yeah, my mom was at the Who concert, the 1977, I think, Who concert, where a bunch of people in Cincinnati got crowd crushed. So I've always like it's been a part of the lore of my life, hearing my mom talk about that. And it's crazy. You literally like. I don't even want to talk about what happens to your body when you're in a crowd crush, but it's horrible. It's the worst way to die imaginable. But guess how many? Fucking 9 people died at this crowd crush that Diddy was the promoter for.
Ooh.
And the first time you ever see Diddy in the spotlight is him at a press conference as one of the promoters of and responsible for the event, saying, you know, we want to make sure this never happens again. So that really, and then there were a lot of people in the documentary that were like, Diddy got my sister a ticket and she died there. And then Diddy, I was kind of half watching it because that's the way we watch things. So apparently Diddy didn't do what he needed to do to make that situation right, and didn't take any responsibility for it, of course.
He shouldn't have been allowed to promote another show ever again after that. You kill 9 people, you should be like,
I can't believe
criminally
none
liable.
of us knew about this. I know about
you don't
pop
go to
culture things.
court.
I did not know P. Diddy was one of the people that oversold an event that led to a crowd crush because, well, it was really because the doors got shut and someone didn't open them. And then when they saw people were like, they're shutting the doors, we want to get inside. And just, yeah. And so 9 people died in 1990. And Diddy was, I couldn't believe it. There's sometimes
It was
things
probably
like
just in a local newspaper.
consciousness.
We didn't have
No,
internet
it was
really
huge.
back then.
No. Yeah, but 9 people dying
I can't believe
in New York City is
no one
a
sued
huge story
either.
in
But still,
1990, I
it's-
would think.
You know, it's pre-internet, so it doesn't percolate the same way that it would now.
Yeah, I guess you're
And,
right.
you know, not to bring this into it, but it was probably a racial element where it was underreported because it was 9 black people most likely, and it was the 90s. It still wasn't, you know.
No, I think you're absolutely right. Like it's like, oh, that just what happens up there.
And
Something
they didn't
happened up there in
sue
Harlem,
because
yeah.
they're not,
Yeah, I
like,
just
have
couldn't believe
money.
it. There was another one. I'm sorry to talk about tragedies on this podcast, but do you know about like the Kansas City mall collapse?
Oh my God, I can't think about that. It's horrible.
I had no idea
You
about that
didn't?
one either.
I
That
thought I
was
told you recently.
Huge. Just look into it. I'm not going to get into it,
It's
but
so bad.
Kansas
Oh,
City.
or what
leads
about
that
It was
win
the
this weekend.
80s, right?
The Indiana hockey arena explosions.
No, it didn't. Stop it. Really?
What? I'm serious.
Really?
It's
That
it's
sounded
the
like a
most-
Brian, you know, like
little Brian joke.
hyperbolic. Yeah.
No, well,
saw
did you
the
hear
corner
about
of your mouth.
the Kansas City clown
exactly.
wig factory?
Yeah. Wait, so
Fire.
what happened at the Indiana explosion?
It was all the dyes from the clown wigs that set on fire easily and killed
Stop.
a bunch of. No, so there were. This was the largest disaster in terms of death toll in Indiana history, sports history maybe.
What?
But there was a hockey arena. There was a hockey game happening. I don't know what. I don't believe there was ever an Indiana professional NHL hockey team, but there was a hockey game going on. It was a sold-out arena or something, and there were these gas tanks underneath the arena that were used for like heating and stuff. And one of them sparked and exploded.
Oh
and, like, people
my
are just
God.
people are just watching the game, and then all of a sudden through the ice, like an explosion happens,
Dude.
and knocks ice, and then people start, people get blown out onto the ice and stuff, and then people are panicking and running and trying to escape, and then another tank explodes.
Oh,
Wait, how many people died?
Something like in the 80s. I don't exactly remember.
No.
What?
Yeah, like 80 people died.
That's so many.
I've never heard
Yeah.
of that.
Whoa, my
No, it was
God.
bad.
I've
And
never heard of that.
hundreds were hurt. Hundreds had like their limbs blown off.
And this is like the 70s or 80s. No way.
Yeah, let me look it up so I can get the year.
Holy shit. Oh my God. I mean,
I'm not going to anything ever again.
I'm not kidding you. When
Yeah.
I go to events, like when I went to my first Taylor Swift concert in, I think it was
Oh,
Arlington.
yeah, I would never. That's too many people in there.
Oh, I love big. I mean, I'm going to the Super Bowl. I can't wait. If I want to,
You are?
I would love to die with a big group of people. Like you can't be scared of things like that. And I always just think of like how many big arena events are happening all the time. It's not.
I
gonna be
also
this
don't
one.
even want to go to a sporting game, so it makes it easier.
They're so fun. We gotta go.
Sporting game.
But I do sometimes. Like I smoked a little weed before I went into the first Taylor Swift show I went to, and I think I've talked about this already.
Oh, that's
All I
so
could think about
scary.
was a plane crashing into, and like I couldn't.
Or the
enjoy
doors
anything.
get locked and you get crunched and scrunched.
No, I just and that's why I was like, I will never smoke weed before a big event anymore, or like where I'm with a lot of people, because I just think about catastrophe. And so I'm thinking of it like an explosion where it's like there's no warning. At least the plane, you'd be like, that's getting close. Oh my God, that's really close. You have like some kind of like, it's sudden, but like an explode. I always think about that, like how it's just like so instantaneous. And then I'm like, it could happen now. It could happen now. Wait, right now.
I think that
Or
about
no.
everything.
Oh, God.
Like even if I'm
I
in
don't
a
live
car,
like
I'm
that.
like, this just people just crash like
Oh,
this. I
I
don't
think
want to.
about that
Why are we talking about?
I don't know.
all
I'm
this
sorry.
shit?
I'm sorry. Don't mean to forget it. You can't control anything, and you don't need to think about it, because actually
nothing we can
you
do.
want something to happen that way, because it will be so fast, and then you won't even know.
True.
It's
I have
true.
more information about this Indiana thing.
Okay.
So it happened. It was the Indiana State Fairgrounds Coliseum. It was in 1963.
Okay, that's why we don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell. I think I have a theory as to why we don't actually know, and
'Cause
it's
it's
because it took place on October 31st, 1963, Halloween, but notably 22 days before JFK was shot. So,
Yep. So it got-
definitely buried. No pun intended.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's like Zoolander. Came out the Friday before September 11th, I think, and it got.
Oh,
then
that's why it was
it's
no
so
good.
bad.
That's why that movie sucked.
It retroactively affected the writing.
We don't realize how many things we don't know about because they happen
Oh my god.
next to something that's bigger that steals it.
Yeah.
Sort of like the Golden Globes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
The
I had 2
eclipse.
days of
2 days
fame.
of being in the
fame
focus.
before flame.
Fame before flame. Yeah.
But at least I had it and I tasted it and it was sweet.
Yeah.
And now it tastes burnt.
Jesus Christ.
So dumb. No. Yeah. Oh, actually, I have exciting thing to talk about. When we
Oh.
So I'm nominated for a Grammy. I feel like
Oh,
we talked
yeah.
about it on the show already.
It's this weekend.
It's this weekend. Oh. They're handing out my Grammy on Sunday in the afternoon, and I'm flying back. I have a show in Atlantic City on Saturday, and I can't get back to LA in time for that ceremony. I mean, I could, but I would arrive looking like hell, and you have to do hair and makeup. If I was a man, I could be at my ceremony, but I can't because I can't show up disgusting looking. So I'm missing the earlier ceremony where they hand out the Grammys instead of the
Wham,
Grammys. And
They hand out the comedy award in this
Yeah.
pre-ceremony. You can't go.
I can't go. But that's okay. If I win, I win. It sucks that I won't be able to like give a speech or whatever. But the really important thing is that I get to go to the Grammys. And because I begged.
Isn't it crazy that the Golden Globes happened and is in the past and you did it?
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah, that
that's
is
like
crazy.
wild. That's not just a thing that no one can take that away. It happened. It's done. It's in the past. You can't go back in time and remove that from the timeline.
People probably have this same feeling about their weddings or any big event that just seems like it's so far off, it's never going to happen. And then it happens and you're like, oh, it was always in the foreground for me and now it's behind me. Like, I'm not even used to seeing it back there. Like, I can't really conceptualize where it is in my life now because it's over. But yes, that does boggle my mind sometimes. Final thought. So I was just excited because will you look up who's performing at the Grammys? Because the list is like fucking great. And also Taylor Swift is nominated for best album, best song, best, everything.
Yeah,
so I'm
and
so
she'll
excited
win.
about, I mean,
She's probably going to win
deservedly
them all.
But I am a huge fan of the nominees this year and the people performing. So the reason you want to go to the Grammys better than any other award show is because there's performances. You get to watch all the best, hottest people in the business sing at you in the room. Like, you're at a really intimate setting when these people are usually arena acts that you'll never see that close up in this small of a room. You get to see, and they're trying harder than they've ever tried in their fucking lives for when they come, they're not performing the same way they perform on stage in St. Louis. I'll tell you that. They are giving it their fucking all. This is, a global stage. So it's just the best ticket in town. So I get a ticket. I get asked to go. They say, you can go. And I go, can I get good seats though? And they go, yeah, you'll be somewhere in the mix. And I'm like, all right, well, that's fine. As long I go, I want to be on camera. I'd like to, at least have some evidence that I'm there. I know I'm sounding like greedy and like entitled. Please don't come at me for this. It's just, yes, I want to be on camera. I'm a person that likes being on camera. So anyway, can you say who's performing, Noah?
Yeah. So you have Sabrina Carpenter.
Oh my God.
Chappelle Roan.
Oh my God.
Doji.
Oh my God. I'm so excited about what's going to happen. I'm so excited for Sunday. I'll be like deliriously tired from doing the road all weekend, but I'm just going to dance my face off. I'm going to do a Taylor Swift where like you just dance the whole time and you just enjoy being at the show without blocking people behind you. I'm going to be mindful, but just going to have the best time. Chappelle Roan. Who else? Benson Boone. Who else?
Billie Eilish.
Yeah, I mean.
And Charlie XCX.
I mean, these are all performances I would pay to go see otherwise. Did you recognize half of those names?
Not a single one.
Sabrina Carpenter?
No, I've heard of Charlie XCX, but I don't know what it is.
Brat?
What?
Brat?
Brat Summer.
Is that another person?
They're having
That's her whole vibe is Brat.
They're having a big concert benefit for the fires in LA at Intuit Dome, and I believe the what's the other one? Where was the roast held?
Kia Forum.
Yeah, I think at the Forum and at the Intuit Dome, there's a huge concert that has like every celebrity that's ever existed. I think is going to be performing at this thing.
Yeah,
Get a ticket.
I hope to present at one of those. No, I'm so excited for the Grammys. It's the best ticket in town. I gotta be nominated for a Grammy every year. I gotta get in that building.
What's interesting about this Grammy nomination for Best Comedy Album is that the two people. So you were nominated for a Golden Globe, an Emmy, a Grammy, a WGA award,
A Critics' Choice Award.
and a Critics' Choice.
Oh, what?
Yes.
So what's interesting about this Grammy nomination is that the two people who defeated you in each of the previous two award shows are not nominated for the Grammy one. So you're not facing off against Ali Wong or
Dick Van Dyke.
Or even Jamie Foxx is not nominated.
Oh, wow. Okay,
Yeah.
who's nominated for the Grammy again?
The Grammy is The Prisoner, Jim Gaffigan. Trevor Noah, Where Was I? Which is also Jim Gaffigan. I don't know why he... Armageddon, Ricky Gervais, Nikki Glaser, Someday You'll Die. And then I think probably the front runner, Dave Chappelle, The Dreamer. Because Dave Chappelle, I think, always wins this award.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be
Ooh, bunch
the only
of
woman
men.
nominated, which is really cool. Just being able to say that you're a nominee is
That's
really
pretty
the prize.
that's
I mean,
crazy.
it would be the coolest one to win.
What did
By
your dad
far.
say? That must
He was
tickle
really
him.
excited. I think that was
God.
yeah. I
He
think
wants to go
I
so
think he
bad.
texted. I think I texted them, and I think he was just they were so fucking pumped. And yeah, that would be I definitely let my voice teacher know right away. Because just like any one musical in my life, I'm like Grammy, and they're like, "What you?" I know there was a lot of that, but yeah, on my way to a little EGOT.
Yeah. Dave Chappelle won the last two comedy album awards in a row, 24 and 23.
Okay, so this is very
interestingly,
Chiefs-like.
Exactly. This is him going for the three-peat. You're the Eagles here. You're trying
I'm
to...
the Eagles.
Yeah. And then it was
Tush
Louis
push.
C.K. Although, the 1 year that... The only 2 years in the 2020s that Dave Chappelle was not nominated were the ones that he didn't win. So he won every year he was nominated. He's won.
Yeah, it's not looking good.
Oh.
He's won
Well, maybe he
1,
needs a
2,
break.
3,
Calm down,
4,
dude.
5. He's won 5 of the last 7 years.
That's
Oh my
crazy.
And deservedly so. He's amazing.
Yeah,
We didn't
but
talk about his
come
SNL. Brian, thoughts?
Oh, yeah, I thought it was great. I mean, it's just when you watch Dave Chappelle now, it's beyond comedy. It's more like a sermon, and you're watching someone who you just want to hear their opinion, and you want to.
Yes.
It's almost like he's the president.
Oh, I thought the ending was so good. Palisades, Palestine, like that was just sitting there for everyone, and I didn't
Yeah.
see that anyone come up with that thing at all. Yeah, I thought it was really fun, and I thought he was just so. It's just I always say about him. I remember watching him one time at the Comedy Cellar, and he was on stage, and I was like, that man is more comfortable up there right now than I am in bed. Like it really looked that way. I was like, that is the key. That guy cannot be thrown. Because there was a couple times he didn't get the laughs he wanted to, or the mic wasn't on the way he wanted. Like there were a couple things that could have thrown his performance or made anyone else feel nervous or feel like, once you don't get a laugh you want in the beginning that you're expected to get, that can like derail the rest of the set very easily. And just with the audience, because the audience loses faith in you, but he just gets you back right away.
Yeah.
There's no one better to be leading the charge up there. Like Dave Chappelle walks on stage and everything's going to be okay.
Well,
nothing can go wrong.
He's earned the right to have those moments because the audience trusts that he's going somewhere. Whereas if you're just like some open micer and you start flailing, then people start to turn on you.
But even like an open micer who doesn't let that stuff bother them, the audience would project like there's some. It's like Chappelle is just. Can be it almost transcends like what he's doing. It's like he's just has this aura about him that puts everyone at ease. Yeah.
He
It's
also,
like-
I don't know if
yeah.
he like thought about this move or if this just comes naturally to him, but like the little things, like he was sitting down for most of the monologue on the stool. And then when he started telling the story about Jimmy Carter, he stood up almost to like show respect to Jimmy Carter.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
When he did the Mark Twain Prize for Kevin Hart, it was like baffling to me that he didn't have a script in the prompter. And Chris still to this day, who produced it, doesn't know if he had like really memorized what he said or if it was like off the dome. And my thought is, I told Chris, I think if I could guess, I think he definitely thought about what he was going to say. And it wasn't just off the dome. I don't think he works that way. I mean, he does sometimes, but not on something like of this kind of import.
Yeah.
I think he thought about it and probably rehearsed it in his head a couple times and maybe wrote some notes and then just trusts himself at this point to do it. But what do you think? Do you think he could have just out of his head wove together a presentation about Kevin Hart that like had a beginning, middle, and end and had a through line and like a message and all that stuff? Do you think he just can do that freestyle now?
I think it's possible. I think without a doubt he was like thinking about what he was going to say. Like I don't think there was no thought put into it and he was just like pulled off the street like, can you say a few words? And then he just pulled that out of nowhere. He probably was like walking around being like, what can I say about Kevin? And the reason why I know that it's possible to do that is because there was this guy at the Improv Theater I used to perform at in New York called the Magnet Theater. There was this show called Kiss Punch Poem, and I don't remember this guy's name, but it was a full improv show, and then at the end of the show, a man would go up and he would improvise a full poem based on the improv show he just saw. And every week I would go see this guy, and the poem was every single time more amazing than any poem I could ever even imagine writing. And it incorporated all of these things from the improv show that had just happened, so we know it wasn't like pre-written. And I was in awe of watching this guy do this. So he could do it. I believe that it's possible that Dave Chappelle could also do it. Like weave all these things together and just kind of spin a yarn that ends at a poignant moment to...
Was that guy old?
No, he wasn't. He was like late
what
20s
bothers
or
me.
early 30s.
But I will say the book that I'm reading, The Anatomy of a Breakthrough, I just got to the part yesterday about Andre Agassi and Lionel Messi. And it talks about how they are the best at their game because they slow down in the beginning. So Lionel Messi has never scored a goal in the first 2 minutes of a game in his entire life. And there's been there was one story about like where a channel played every Lionel Messi goal that's like, 2 seconds long, just goal after goal. They played them all back to back and it lasted like over a weekend. Like 48 hours of just goal. And not one of those was ever scored in the first 2 minutes of the game, which he is in. And so the first 2 minutes of the game, he barely runs around. He's just scoping out what he's going to do and planning for it. And it's not about, they say like, I watched, that quarterback show and Mahomes and Kirk Cousins, all these guys are watching tape of the players. And there's, and Andre Agassi even said like, yeah, he can study someone's tennis game that he's about to play. Or Lionel Messi said he can study, these soccer players and watch tape all day. But the athletes that he's playing, the way they show up that day is going to be different than anything that he could have prepared for. And so he wants to know what they're like that day, and no one else does that. And so there's a lesson in slowing down in the beginning to get your bearings. And Lionel Messi also is Lionel messing in his pants, and like he's on the toilet for like 40 minutes before every game because he's so nervous, just shitting his brains out. And the coaches used to make fun. Like, there would be other early on in his career, people would make fun of him and say like, this guy is not going to be anything because he's just shitting himself. He has like, chronic diarrhea beforehand because he's so nervous. That's the thing that happens to your body when you get nervous. I know a lot of comics
It doesn't happen to me.
that shit a
I
lot
get
before they go on
nervous.
stage.
Right. Well, there's an evolutionary reasoning for it because you need to lighten your load and run away
Interesting.
from a predator.
Or you're spraying like a skunk. What?
And 70% of serotonin is made in the gut. That's why.
Oh, so what
It
does that mean?
shakes
So
it
you're
all
getting
up
rid
in
of
there.
stuff to get more serotonin, or you're getting
For
rid
like,
of...
it creates anxiety. So like anxiety is like mainly built in the gut.
That makes, it makes total sense. But part of this was that they said, how is he able to play so well when he is a nervous wreck? Because there are so many performers that like throw up before they go on stage. They have stage fright every single time, and then they go out and they kill it. Like, aren't nerves associated with like doing poorly? It also talked about the guy that is the free solo guy. This is I'll get into it later, but really fascinating research on this. But the reason Lionel Messi is able to throw up and shit himself a ton before the game is because he takes those 2 minutes of the game to ease himself into it. And he doesn't just start playing. He doesn't just walk. Like, if I'm shitting my brains out before I go on stage, I'm so nervous. I shouldn't go out. What I'm learning from this is I shouldn't go out and be like, right into my act, like, woo, like just hop on and start performing and running around like crazy and trying to score goals because I'm still nervous. I just stepped off from where I was shitting before. Ease into it. So go out on stage if I'm super nervous for a performance, which doesn't really happen that often. But if I find myself next time having a lot of anxiety beforehand, like slow down in the beginning and amp up to it, and you'll be able to harness an energy that you can then be your best. Be best.
And speaking to like Noah's biological or chemical reasoning, I feel like if you're, shitting your pants before and you're producing all this serotonin, which serotonin it is a motivating agent, and then maybe it just takes some time, a few minutes, for whatever chemically happened in your shit explosion to go through your veins and then make you feel the calm and the focus that those chemicals were producing.
Oh yeah.
And then you
That
get
could
there
be.
and then you're ready.
Yeah, it is wild. I'm learning a lot from this book. It's called The Anatomy of Breakthrough, and I am going to finish it, and I'm going to keep dropping little tidbits that I don't really know all the details of.
I just downloaded the audiobook, so maybe I can help with it.
Yeah.
I'll listen to it
Noah's
this
so good at
weekend.
taking notes and actually like paying attention and knowing exactly the data that they give. And I'm just like, I think like it's because he like was like not scared anymore because of this. I just like, it's
No,
not
it's good. It's compelling. I'm excited for this.
So yeah, check out that book and start plowing through it, Noah, so we can catch up to each other. I'll slow
Yes.
down on it. I'll get back into the let them theory, which I just found out is
Oh, yeah.
plagiarized.
Oh yeah, most things.
But I'm gonna still keep going. It's like I don't care where she got it from. I know that's wrong. She already got my money. I'm not giving her any more of it. But it's
Damn. How do you think you're not going to be caught when you do? Shit
I
like
don't
that? That's
know. I do
crazy.
believe that the author of the Let Them theory. I'm not going to get into her name or whatever. I do think that she may have like found the Let Them theory. She found it through her daughter, who was like, "Mom, just let them." She like said it, and she had this light bulb moment. So I think that maybe her daughter might have copied it, like gotten it from this poem that went viral in 2023, which everyone's saying. And then her daughter said didn't know that she had even gotten it from that. you know how you consume
Yeah,
things online,
I
you don't
see.
even know
Yeah.
where it happens. And she goes, Mom, let them. And her mom goes, that's brilliant. But then she also wrote the book with her daughter, which she claims several times in the book, but her daughter's name is not on the book, which is so strange.
That's
so
weird.
she's being called out for a couple things, and I don't know how to feel
Is
about
she a
it.
psychologist or something?
I don't think so.
So what? She heard her daughter
has
say let
glasses.
them. She heard her daughter say let them one time, and then that
Yeah.
gave her the authority to write an entire book.
She has glasses and she has an ability to talk
Okay.
where she pauses a lot
I don't like
after
pausers.
everything she says,
Oh no.
which
Okay.
gives what she's saying, do you understand? More weight.
Yeah. The Gerard Carmichael effect. They call it,
I
think.
guess. All right, we gotta go. Thank you for listening to the show this week. I'll be back from tour next week. I'll tell you about the Grammys, and fingers crossed I win. If I don't, everything will be fine. I'll be okay. I love you guys. Thanks for listening to the pod. Thank you for being here, Taylor. Let's go purge some stuff from my bathroom. Bye, Brian. Bye, Noah. Don't be cooked. Bye.
Don't be care.